Hello and welcome back everybody to Moneyball. We are going to be looking for a manager today. That's what we're going to be looking to try and do, get ourselves a manager for the future. And there's a few different criteria we're going to look at. We're going to look at everything that we looked at before that we mentioned we would look at before anyway for a manager. But I think the most important thing for us is looking at the formation. Now, I did say at the start that we'd have two or three formations that we'd look at within our playing philosophy that we're recruiting players for. We wanted to look at either a 4-2-3-1, a 4-3-3, or alternatively a 4-4-2. But what we said was, if their preferred formation was a 4-4-2, their tactical style had to be something maybe different to wing play, like a controlled possession, and the playing style couldn't be direct. So, although the 4-4-2 was in our set of formations that we can recruit staff for, it had to be then definitely with the preferred tactical style and definitely with the playing style. In a 4-2-3-1, we can have it on wing style and direct because the way that the team is structured, especially in the match changing with the players being spaced out more evenly, I guess, across the lines of the pitch, you can have people with playing style direct and tactical style wing play. They'll still be able to play things other than those two styles because of the way the players are positioned. Now, if you take somebody with tactical style wing play and playing style direct in a 4-4-2, that's very, very different, right? The low percentage balls are going to be on and the defense are going to play them, especially in League 2. So we're going to look for a manager playing a 4-4-2. Now, why 4-4-2? The reason is our three best attacking players are all strikers, all three of them, and he only plays one, or the previous manager would only play one of them. He wouldn't even use Al-Hamadi wide, even though he can play on the wing. So I think what makes the most sense for us is to recruit into a 4-4-2, or at least recruit a manager to play a 4-4-2, but they have to have the other things in their playing philosophy. They have to have controlled possession or something like that. And the playing style cannot be direct. It has to be pretty much anything else other than direct, anything direct and long. So let's have a look. Let's see what we can get. There's a few different ways we can go about this. We can look at some managers in the league below, ones that are doing well. Let's have a look at that. We can look at teams higher than us. Maybe look at their under-23 managers, and under-21 managers, sorry. So we can look at that. And alternatively, people that are just unemployed currently. There are a few big names that have been made unemployed recently. I don't know how far we're going to stretch this. I think for now we're going to stick to something that's at least within reason. I don't want to say completely realistic because people are going to probably complain about that, about what is exactly realistic. But let's see what happens. The funniest thing I think would be for us in a few years when real players right now retire and we can get like a really big name who's just retired, something like that maybe. But for now, let's have a look. Let's start off in the league below and let's see who's doing really, really well and see if there's anybody that can fit our philosophy. So look at the National League. I actually saw the Dagenham and Redbridge manager here doing pretty well. Daryl McMahon. And look at his profile, though, unfortunately for us, he's got preferred formation of a 5-2-1-2 DMAM, and it's Catenaccio style. So really unfortunate for us because he looked like a pretty good option looking at the season preview and all that type of stuff, right? We're at Dagenham. So Dagenham were 21st expected, so they're really overachieving. And fortunately not quite going to work out for us there. Okay, I have narrowed it down to two targets. We have got Kevin Keane from West Ham, who is the current under-18s manager, and Martin Taylor, who is the under-18s manager at Mansfield. Now, the problem with Martin... Let's go through Martin Taylor first. Control possession, 4-4-2, playing style standard. Second preferred formation, I don't really care about that as much, although it's 4-3-3. So he looks like a pretty good fit on that basis. Looking at his history, and if we do look a bit at the realism of it, he was a player as a goalkeeping coach for his entire coaching career until he's recently only become an under-18s manager. So not somebody who went in looking to become a first-team head coach or anything. And I guess it just feels like a little unusual path for him to have gone through that and go immediately to a first-team manager role. Now, Kevin Keane, however, who was a player, ended up being a bit of a caretaker manager at West Ham for a tiny bit. I think that was when the 2008 financial crash happened and they ended up having financial issues and Kirbishley had left, I believe, and then he went to Liverpool, West Brom, and some other teams there as well. But crucially, he's always been a first-team coach, an under-18s manager, an assistant manager, and then a manager himself at Colchester. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to give Kevin Keane the job. He's going to come in and be our manager. He's got tactical style of gegenpress, 4-4-2 standard. His second preferred formation is a 4-2-3-1. So 4-4-2 formation, tactical style, gegenpress, and then playing style is standard. I'd probably like this not to be maybe standard, but we'll see how this goes. Well, he fits in well enough here, I think, with the philosophy that we want. I looked through a lot of people. So this recording here is 19 minutes, where I just started it as I was sort of going through, and I don't know how long I've actually spoken in this 19 minutes. I've been just going through searching. So Kevin Beane is going to come in and be our manager. Congratulations, Kevin. Round of applause for Kevin. He's going to come and be our manager. You can imagine that maybe at 55... having a few first-team jobs, not too many. This is going to be like his last chance at going and becoming like a big name in first-team coaching in the lower leagues of England. So Kevin Beane's going to come in and join us. Congratulations, Kevin. Welcome to the club. So the first thing I'm going to do here is go through and all the stuff that I gave control over to the manager before that then got given to a different member of staff when he left. I'm going to give that all now back to our brand new manager. Okay, that is now done. We've got a new manager in. Obviously, at the end of the last episode, we got the money in for Matt Cox over here. £1.48 million. We've got a lot of money back into the club. Gives us a bit of a budget going into January, of course. I've got to be honest, I'm not too sure how much business we're going to do. And the reason I say that is because we are playing really to stay up right now. And any player we bring in, if we're going to spend a bit of money on them, we really need them to be good enough to help us challenge for promotion next year. And I don't know how many of those type of players we can bring in this season, but we'll give it a try. We'll give it a try. We'll have a little search in a little bit here. Let's skip through. Let's go through to the Sutton game here on the 1st of January, and let's watch our new manager's first game in charge together first. Let's just start off with the match. Let's see if there's anything different about what he does, and let's see how the team gets on, which is going to be interesting to see. Hopefully it all works okay. He does play a 4-4-2. That is the intent, of course, but let's see what happens. Here we go then. First game of the new manager, Kevin Beane. Let's see how he gets on. Again, really weird experience not being able to control anything. We are hitting the blue against Sutton in the yellow. So they're going to be interesting combination this is going to be to see how the team sets up. And you can see there, AFC Wimbledon in the 4-4-2 formation. He's gone with Josh Davidson, McManus up front, leaving Alhamadi on the bench, which is interesting. But we are seeing that the manager's formation obviously is coming out, and they are playing their own way, which is great to see. Okay, right centre-back has the ball, plays into the central field player. Looks like the left striker's dropping off a little bit there. We go long to McManus. It gets nodded away. They're going to bring it down. It's not quite what we wanted to see, was it? We don't want to see too much of that, but he's got time. He's got to get time to get his playing philosophy across to the players. If they get it a bit wrong, it probably will be that they go a bit long early because there's less risk on the passes, right? So there we go. 1-0 to Sutton. Corner from Wimbledon. Whipped in, headed away. It's going to be a second phase corner, you'd hope, for us. It's not going to be a counter-attack for them. McAteer goes through. Keeps going himself. He's still going. I don't know where he's going there. Powell whips it in towards the far post, headed away. Pearson gets to it. Whips it into the box. Surely he does. Davidson goes up, heads it towards... Oh, there it is. It's 1-1. And the new manager gets an equaliser with his new striker starting. Davidson looked like he was a good player, to be honest, in terms of like the coaches rate him really highly. They just weren't playing him because it was a one-striker system and he preferred to use our new signing, which is obviously good for us. But good to see here that he gets in the box. Not sure what this defender's doing, playing everybody on side, but cheers up for that defender. And that is 1-1. Another highlight straight after the goal. This is literally straight after. They go long. We're going to win that easily, aren't we? Yes, Will Nightingale, good lad. Davidson, Woodyard, McManus is just on, maybe. Doesn't matter. They regain it. They play a terrible pass up. This has got to be ours. We're all over him like a rash. Goes to the Pearson on the left-hand side. Go into the box. McManus goes up. Doesn't quite get there. Whipped in again. McManus. Oh, just over. It's so funny not being in control of this. It's so funny. It's nice in a way, you know. There you go. We can see our roles here. So we've got target forward and pressing forward here for our two strikers, which is an interesting combination. Headed away. It's going to be a second chance now for Sutton whipping towards the box. We don't get it away properly. It's probably going to be their highlight. Is it going to be a goal? The answer is yes. It's 2-1. We've got 1 XG to their 0.38. So we've actually done pretty well in terms of creating chances on, at least just basing it on the XG. Obviously, we only see the key highlights. So that's a poor deflection. Is it going to count? It's going to count. It's 3-1. Devastating. See, I mean, I know we're losing, but we've actually played pretty well in this game, and we're against the side away from home. We're in the playoffs, so corner from Wimbledon. McAteer whips it in, headed towards goal, headed away. Woodyard gets to it. Second phase corner, it comes McAteer into the box. It's calamitous, and it goes through, and we'll take one of those. That's going to be 3-2. 20 minutes plus to go. Okay, he didn't make any subs until the 90th minute, and then brought on 3. That was a bit late for that, but see, it says we played 4-2-3-1. I think because that's what our default formation is. But that isn't obviously what... Not only is that not what happened... Oh, that's how it finished. Okay, maybe he went to that to chase the game. That defeat does put us in the relegation zone and 3 points in it as well. Relegations are becoming a very big possibility. And we need players fast. And again, we need to try and get players that can help us get promoted next year. I said that before, but maybe we need players to help us stay up. I thought that we would turn this around, to be honest, but we didn't at the first time of asking there. So let's have a look at some players. We know that goal scoring is a problem. I think they've actually got 3 good strikers that could do the business if they're given consistent service. But let's have a look at the wingers, and I think let's try and get a few different players here. Let's try and get some wide players in, I think, is going to be the first problem. I'm not sure on Sam Pearson over here. He's not really doing the job, is he? Let's have a look at the stats, though. All right, let's have a look at the 4 wingers and see how they've been getting on. Not all of them have played winger all the time, but they have been the players that played wide pretty much. So Chislett's dribbles per night is quite far down. Janet and Pearson, their dribbles per night is quite low. Cross completion is even worse for Pearson. Pearson's in my firing line right now. Sprints per 90 is down as well. Like, I'm not really sure what he's doing as a winger. He passes, open play he passes is decently high. Shot on target ratio is okay. Yeah, I think that, like, I think these 2 in particular, if we had one of them and another winger that was doing well, they'd be fine. But I think those 2 together, they're both fairly long dribbles per 90 for, like, wide players. Open play passes per 90 is good for Pearson, not quite as good for Janet. Pressures attempted. Pretty good here for Janet, not as good for Pearson. I mean, conversion ratio 5% for Janet. That's both of these 2 are a bit frustrating, really. So I think we're going to get a wide player, definitely. We're going to try and get one really good one if we can. And what I'm going to do is scout for somebody who basically has the highest of each of these categories of these 2 players. We're going to try and get somebody of a minimum of 2.53 dribbles per 90. It'll probably be higher than that. A minimum of like 11% cross completion. Try and basically get rid of these 2 players. We won't get rid of both, we'll get rid of one. We'll keep the other one. But effectively, we're trying to remove these 2 players out of the starting 11 and replace them with one player that's the best of both of them for that like marginal gain. I think that's what we'll try and do here. And on top of that, if we get somebody significantly better, that's great as well. If we can get 2 players, 2 wingers that are both better than this, we'll get rid of both of them off loan and we'll bring two players in. We've got a lot of money to spend for this level. Yeah, let's see what we can do. Okay, so I've got all the stats in. We've got both wings looked at. The stats you can see next to me here at the top of the screen are the 2 players we looked at a second ago. So we need somebody better than that. Now, the first player I've identified here is Josh Georgi. Plays in the Irish First Division. He is a right back that can also play right wing. He has played right wing the entire season, as we can see here. And the most impressive thing about him is he's played in a team that finished dead last in his league. So to get these kind of stats as a winger in a team that played terribly, again, you're talking about positional. Again, you talk about a couple of things. Rather than just looking at the raw stats, a couple of other things you need to factor in. Yes, 1, the standard of football they're playing at. 2, what type of team are they playing in? A team that's at the top of the league or the bottom, that can affect the stats quite drastically. And then positional value and that kind of stuff, right? There's other things you can consider when you're doing this. So dribbles per 90, let's get him to the top of this list here. 2.96, is that above what we're looking at? Yes, it is. Cross completion, 11% is the maximum we're looking at. He's got 27. Don't really care about that. Sprints per 90, he has 9.41. These boys have got, so he's a little bit low on that. So that's one stat where he's a little bit lower. Open play key passes, he splits the difference between the 2 of the lads. Progressive passes per 90, 2.66. That's way more than them. Shot on target ratio is better. Conversion ratio is off the charts. Like, he is better in every category except for 1, pretty much, right? So we're definitely going to give him a go. So let's try and offer them, I don't know, 40 grand. We've got $1 million to spend, exactly $1 million right now. Sorry, I'll put myself down here so you can see sort of the negotiations going on here. So they've been asking for like just a bit more than what I've been offering them. We'll go 100. They can have 40% of the profit if we get that. Okay, I'm happy with that. I don't want to do too many installments and drag the club down over a long period of time, so we'll try and avoid doing that when we can. Okay, so I just lowered the progressive passes and open play key passes by 0.25 on the search, and that's given us a lot more players to go through. So let's have a look at Chris Latifa. Now, he is top of the list for dribbles per 90. Plays at Bohemians, how are they doing this year, actually? Let's have a look at. They were in a relegation playoff. So, again, in a team that wasn't winning, very similar to the last player we looked at. Didn't play quite as many games, maybe. Cross completion is sort of down to the levels of the current players, but still more than what they've got. Open play key passes is actually still more. It's the progressive passes where he's slightly lower, right? He still splits the difference there. I don't know why he didn't appear before then, really. It must be something. Good. He's good at everything else. He's good at tackle win ratio as well. I think he's a really good option, is Chris Latifa. So let's shortlist him. I should try and bid it for him now as well. Let's see. He's left-footed, right? He's right-footed. So they want slightly more than the previous club did. Again, they want like the 30% of the next sale. We'll offer them something very similar to the last team. So they want a tiny bit more for him. We'll come back to him. Jamie McDonough. Now, he's got dribbles per 90 3.54. Cross completion is higher than the last guy we looked at. Sprints per 90 is higher. Open play key passes is slightly lower. It's actually below what our other players were. He didn't appear last time for that reason. But his progressive passes is very, very high. So you get a little less of the open play key passes, but progressive passes is much more. He plays right back. Where did he play on the wing, though? He played on the wing most of the season. So that's good stuff. The fact that he played on the wing. He looks a really good option looking at him. So how much do they want for him? He looks cheaper because he plays in the Northern Irish League. Okay, maybe not that much cheaper. We'll go 100s. I'm going to go 100 grand on him. Just so you see the negotiations here. I'm going to go 100 grand and we'll go 25% of the profit the next sale. Yeah, it's going to be slightly more expensive, but I think he's going to be worth it. In fact, I might just go... Let's switch that for actual percentage of the next sale. They can have 20% of the next sale. How about that? No, they didn't want that. 25. I'll try and negotiate with them over the next couple of days, I guess, but we'll try that for now. Yeah, I think that'll do for now. We've got a couple of options on the wing there to bring in and improve the side in that area. Both look pretty good options, don't they? I would say both massive improvements what we've got. I don't know if I'll bring both in. I'll have to see what else we can get into other positions and other deals we're going to get, but that'll do for wingers. Let's have a look at something else now, position-wise. Okay, let's look at central field players. That's the next thing to look at. We lost George Marsh, who was a keeper at the start, or at least he was a starting player, so there's a chance we're short here anyway. So let's have a look at what the boys have been doing. Unlucky passes, we're looking at 0.94 for Harry Powell. That's the highest of the two. He's a bit of an outlier in that sense. He's probably going to be down on other areas, right? Chances created, not too much from Amari Little there. He's not really doing much at all creatively, is he? I guess, but then Harry Powell's low on progressive passes, or he's slightly higher. Pass completion goes massively to Woodyard. Dribbles per 90 is slightly higher for these two boys here. Sprints per 90 Woodyards, they're massively down. You can see that each one of them has got an area where they're really low compared to the others. Again, we're looking at a situation where, look at his header-1 ratio as well. Look, Woodyard is really low on header-1 ratio, 29% compared to the 250s. Tackle-win ratio is 73 to the 80s. And... but then his pass completion's high. So he's more of a get it and give it kind of play. He's not going to get too much stuck into the nitty-gritty of the League 2 football. So he's our little passer and creator. There you go. He plays sort of simple passes, dictates tempo. That adds up from a stats perspective, right? We need somebody next to him who's like an all-action, aggressive, box-to-box and field player that has more dribbles per 90 than him, wins more tackles, is better in the air. That's what we're going to be looking for. But then they have to be better than the current two players that sort of fill that void next to him. Because like Amani Little... Yes, he wins more tackles than Woodyard, but the fact that his open play key passes per 90 is even lower. See, for me, Harry Powell's got to be the second best player there out of the two. I wouldn't play Amani Little. So, yeah, we definitely want a central field player looking at this. Let's get these two. Let's take Woodyard out. Let's keep Woodyard as our passer and creator, and let's try and get somebody who's a bit more like the other two, but better. That's what we'll look at here. And just before we do, I'm going to try and find somebody else playing a 4-4-2 in the league. Because I might take Harry Powell and then their best player in a 4-4-2, and we'll try and combine it together to do our searching here. Here we go then. Grimsby are playing a flat 4-4-2 and they're second in the league, right? So let's get them up here with a central midfield squad view. And let's take their best performing midfield player. Is it going to be him or is somebody else injured? Yeah, okay. So Bryn Morris is going to be the player that we get some stats from as well. Okay, so the top number you can see is on the screen is their player. The bottom one is our own player. So that's what we'll look at as a comparison here. Okay, so the biggest difference with their player compared to ours is the progressive passes per 90. If you look at their progressive passes per 90, they've got 4.02. Now, Grimsby's central field player is actually, I guess, more like Woodyard in terms of his the fact that he's not quite as good at tackling, but he's also better in the air. So he sort of splits the difference between a Woodyard type player. He's like a Woodyard type player that can be a box-to-box all-action player as well. Like he does have the dribbles per 90 of the other midfield players that we've got. He does have the header-1 ratio of the other players that we've got. But he's also got the passing of Woodyard. So their player is brilliant, really. Wish he played for us. So Gary O'Neill here is an interesting option in the Irish League. So if you're looking at progressive passes per 90, he's got 4.06, which is actually more than the best player for Grimsby. And his pass completion is higher, which is interesting. And passes completed per 90 is high. That's really, really good. To have that many passes completed per 90 and that high of a ratio is just really, really impressive. So, and he's got tackle ratio of 80%. Like, this guy is the one. He's brilliant. He's going to cost us a lot of money, I would expect. We'll see. How much do they want for him? Okay, I'm going to go 100 just off the bat and see what they give us. So I'll tell you what, this is going to be a good deal. We'll go 120 and see if they take that for now. But he's going to be one that we definitely get. Like, if he was in England and he was like a League One player, like, even with like £1 million, I reckon. So, like, talking about divisional value almost, right? Because he plays in the Irish League, we're going to get him for like potentially 150 grand. So, there you go. Got Jack Keeney here as well. Again, in the Irish division, we have got open key passes of 1.15, progressive passes of 3.29, both looking good there. Passes completed per 90, 40.92 with a completion of 81. That's all looking good. Draws per 90, 0.62, so he's a bit lower on that. So if we have the money to bring in two, we could bring in these two. But Gary O'Neill is the one, isn't he, right now, in terms of like being the best option. Chris Gallagher, again, here in the Northern Irish League. He has good stats all the way across the board. Yet again, same as before. Looks like a pretty decent player plays in Northern Irish League for Clifton was second. So Chris Gallagher is another good option. Has he played in England before? He didn't play for Shrewsbury in any matches. So yeah, Chris Gallagher will also go on the list. That's our three midfield players that we've got on the list now. So we looked at central midfield players. Let's have a look at the other positions now. I think centre-back's a big one for us more than full-back and goalkeeper. But definitely going to look at centre-back. Okay, I'm going to look at centre-backs first because I think it's more important right this second for us to look at centre-backs. So, got them in order of appearances, really. Nightingale, Pierre, and then Callum Bailly in that sort of order. So looking at tackle-win ratio, got a much lower amount from Will Nightingale, and he's played the most games. Actually, the second most games, sorry. So he's significantly lower than the two centre-backs in our team. Tackles per 90, sorry, key tackles per 90, he's lower as well on that. Interceptions per 90, he's the lowest on that. I mean, like if you're doing a Moneyball save, if I was in charge of this team, I would have to drop Nightingale based on the stats. I think he's the club captain as well, but you got to look at that. Like, he's the same header-on ratio. Headers 1 per 90, he's the lowest. Like, he is scoring significantly worse, or at least a little bit worse, on almost every single category that matters for a centre-back. So I'm going to take him out of this list just so we can look at these two here. Yeah, we'll take the best one of these two. Just looking at this now quickly. I think Callum Bailly might be the better. Maybe just Pierre because of his interceptions per 90 of 4.40 is pretty good. And looking at everything else here, possessions 1 per 90 slightly higher. He dribbles a little bit, has not quite as good key passes, has more progressive passes, which is good. And he wins more headers. It's really close, though, between those two. So we'll look at Pierre's stats, along with the centre-back from somebody in the playoffs. And Grimsby are the option, right, because they play a 4-4-2. So Andy Smith here, I'm going to assume is the better one. Let's just make sure we get our correct view in, and it appears that he's going to be their best one. Just looking at really, going to compare these two, they're mostly the starters, right? So look at this quickly. Tackle ratio slightly further towards the other guy, but he's got interceptions per 90 that's higher. Maybe it's him just about that's the better one, because we've already got good interceptions per 90 on our other player that we've got ourselves. Maybe we should go for this. Let's go for this. Let's go for Waterfall. Let's go for his stats. I've got to be honest, there's only one player, in the entire search I've done that I think I would even consider, and it's Jude Russell. And I've even lowered the stats, and there's still only one really player. And the reason is our centre-backs keep coming up as doing okay compared to the players that we can bring in. Jude Russell is currently at Newport, where are Newport? Here they are, they're just ahead of us. But Jude Russell's been in their first team most of the season. They've dropped him, and he's available to be loaned. So I think we loan Jude Russell for $975 a week. I think that's definitely worth it. Yeah, I think he comes in, we'll loan him, we'll see how it goes. But I think Jude Russell's the best option we can do. And apart from that, the centre-backs, they are performing as good as any centre-backs that we can bring in. So I guess that focuses our attention now to fullbacks. So here are your fullbacks for the season. Casey McAteer's got clearly the most dribbles per 90, way more than the other two. Cross completion is terrible for all three of them. Oblique passes much lower for McAteer. So although he gets a lot of dribbles, he doesn't get as many oblique passes. Progressive passes is sort of splitting the difference between the three of them. Tackling ratio is very high for two of them. Gunter is the lowest. Tackles per 90, Gunter's by far the lowest. 1.20 seems really low. And his ratio is also low. So he doesn't get many tackles compared to the others, and he doesn't win many of them. And head-on ratio is slightly lower for McAteer. So they all have things that are not quite as good as the others. But to me, Gunter's the most disappointing one for mainly this being really low, and then the fact that he's not dribbling as much. So he's really the defensive fullback, but he's not really doing his job as much as the others, I don't think. So I'm going to transfer list him, just based on the fact that I think the other two are going to be doing slightly more of a job. I'm going to get rid of him. And I'm going to keep, I think, or who should we take the stats more? I think, let's have a look at who's doing well for Grimsby out there, 2 fullbacks here, really. This guy here. And who's their first choice left back? It's not him, is it? So dribbles per 90, it goes to the right back slightly more. Same for cross completion. Sprints per 90 goes massively to the right back. So I think we'll take their right back's stats. Progressive passes, it goes massively to Glennon. They've got 2 fullbacks that balance each other up pretty well, I guess, is where they're going right. Okay, so after going through all of that and trying to find a wing back, yeah, we don't have one. Our own player, actually, so we managed to find. I've actually missed out. I've cut off the header-1 ratio by accident on one of those. The top player is theirs. The bottom one is ours, which I think is actually Casey McAteer. So that's interesting. He's appeared on this list. Okay, we had one player appear in our list, Kane Ramsey. Now, Kane Ramsey plays in League 2 for Harrogate. They are 13th in the league. Now, let's just have a look at his stats here. Dribbles per 90, 186. So that's a little lower than the 2 players that we're looking at. Sorry, it's a bit jumbled, this one. I've cut off the header-1 ratio on one of them and then appearances on the other by accident. So it's not quite in line, but that is what we're looking at there. Yeah, he looks pretty good across the board. He's the only player that's appeared, so he's got to be our Moneyball signing for at least one of the fullback positions. Plays right back. So they've recently gone to them and has played 7 times as a starter, 4 times as a sub. So let's try and get him. Oh, that seems like a lot of money. Can we loan him? It just seems like a lot of money for a player. I mean, I don't know if we want to loan him for that. We'll see. We'll try and get him for something cheaper, but let's keep looking and see what else we can get. I wasn't expecting that. Kieran Tripp is on a list, and I have got doubtful on them. Why is he on the list? Not too many. This guy's a starter here. Yeah, so I looked at Kazim over these other 2 just because he's the only one that's really, if you look at the starts, he's the only other real proper starter apart from our own players, of course, right? So the problem is he's going to be a left back to replace Curry. I guess, is that a problem? Maybe it's not. The good thing is here, we can see them right back to back. Dribbles per 90, 4.02. He's got more cross completion. He has not as many sprints per 90, slightly more open key passes. He's better in almost every metric, not quite everything. So he's an improvement, he's an upgrade. How much is he going to cost us to be that upgrade? That is the question. Quite a bit. So we will definitely shortlist him as a potential upgrade at left back. Really, though, I guess what we're seeing from this is we definitely need a right back as well. I'm just going to mention Bobby Burns. I put him on the short list. He looked pretty good, but again, at left back, he's the probably second option for the left back if we want to bring one in. We've got Barry Cotter here. Now, Barry Cotter looks pretty good. 9 starts, 14 sub appearances for Barnsley in League 1. Very good stats across the board and stats in the league above us. So he's going to go on to the short list. And that's pretty much it. There wasn't too much else to see. In terms of the goalkeeper, I'm not too sure he's the problem we're losing. So I'm not really interested in looking at that for now. I'll just leave that as it is. But Chris Gunter's on the short list. I think I might have forgotten to mention a couple of outgoings. Yeah, so Dylan over here, he's left on a free transfer to Crawley. It wasn't playing. Just wanted to get rid of him, really. And then also we'll try and get rid of Chris Gunter. There might be 1 or 2 others that we try to get rid of. I'm not too sure. I'm not too set on that just yet. I mean, Alfie seems like a pretty good young midfield player. He's only 17, but he's not really playing. So I don't know if we just cash in on him, bring in first-team players. I'm not too sure. Lee Brown's not playing at all at left back, is he? I'd let him go as well. No point. We definitely need fullbacks in, so he's going to go. I think I'll probably let Isaac go as well. Isaac's not playing. He's on £1,000 a week in wages. Another player here, again, not playing. If he's not playing, we need to try and get the money back into the club. Jenkins, another one. We'll try and transfer list him, 20 years old. And we've got our 3 centre-backs there. I would probably let one of those 3 go because we're going to bring one in, right? I'm happy for us to have basically three starting level centre-backs for the I guess, 4 positions in the squad, right? I think if you were to do 2 for each position, you'd need 4, but we'll try and go with 3, try and get the amounts down. I might loan him out instead, maybe. We'll loan him out. How long is his contract for? You've got another year. Let's try and loan him out to a team that's going to play him. And let's try and transform this squad a little bit. Right, okay. I'm going to go and do some negotiations, and we'll see what we come back with after all of this. We might watch the Walsall game, because it's his first home game, the manager, so let's see what we can do. I might bring you back with me for some of the negotiations. We'll see what happens. But that's your scouting. That's your shortlist for this transfer window. Those are all the players we looked at. Some of them are hangovers from the previous searches at the end of the first transfer window. Some are from just what you saw then. So let's see what happens. See where we can get in. My target, I mean, it looks like it's going to cost us roughly 150 grand per starting player. So the most ideal scenario would be to get around 5 players and have a bit of money left over at the end, because I don't think we need to spend the whole million this year. But let's see what happens, see what we can get. Okay, we've got an offer accepted for Jamie McDonough. He wants, well, apparently a lot of money, but we'll see what we can do here. Okay, he wants 3-4. If we can get him to like 2-4, we've got 10 grand a week in wages, and we've got players that are going to be going out. I would give you that maybe. Relegation release clause of like, I guess 95. We'll lose money on him if we went down, but I think we have to sort of take that risk in, try and get him on a contract. Good. So we've got Jamie potentially coming in there on a very good, cost-effective contract for us. Gary O'Neill's going to be coming in for 170 grand. There is no kick-on for next sale in this transfer compared to the one we just saw. He wants a very similar contract. Try and get him to like 1.9. You can have that. You can have 5% if you want of the next sale. Again, relegation release clause of like 95 grand if we were to go down. And he's going to take that as well, 1.9 grand a week. That's good. Hussein Biela's going to go out to Cyprus for a bit of money up front and then loads of installments. Jude Russell's going to join on loan as well. Kane Ramsey has accepted, or they've accepted offer for around 100 grand it was. Promotion wage rise of 10 you can have. And we'll see if he takes that. Okay, I want to get you under 1 really. You can have 10% wage rise there. Again, relegation release clause. You can have about, you can have like 85, I reckon. That'll be fine. If we went down, I'd happily take that for you. And he's happy to take that as well. I'm going to terminate the loan of Sam Pearson for his lack of productive stats for us as well. Gary O'Neill's going to sign for us. That is a great signing. That is a fan. And is, oh, look at this. It's all happening. It's all kicking off. It's all kicking off. Here we go. Gary O'Neill's in, and so is Jamie Donald. That's really good. Really good business, I think, there. I'm pleased with that. Gives us a bit of a chance, doesn't it? Kane Ramsey has accepted his contract. I'm going to delay it for a week. I'm going to re-go over all of my fullback options and see if that is definitely what I want to do. So we'll delay that for just a week here. Isaac has now gone to Exeter as well for 44 grand. That's good for us. Money back into the club. So after that little flurry of transfers, the finances currently look like this: 1.4 million in the bank, with a projection of being 200 grand plus in the green, as it were, at the end of the season, which is good because even if you're slightly below, you get that sort of end of season money right to put you back up. So in a good position there. Our total spend for the season is now at minus 500 grand and a bit, which is good. And yeah, looking good. What's wage like? Still got 6,400 ready to spend and 700 grand in transfer money. Now let's see how Kevin gets on his home debut as manager. Let's see how he gets on and see if he can get a big win for the team. I'm interested to see how he gets on with his new players. Here we go then. Here it comes. The big game for us. Obviously, having all of our players back is really important. Obviously, having all of our new players into the team is really important. I'm interested to see how we get on here. The goalkeeper gets it. So what I should have done is pause at the start and gone through the team so that we went through the team together, because obviously I can't see it right this second. But JB, our new signings on the right-hand side, there he is. Plays it in to the left winger. Doesn't quite get there. We're going to get sprung on the counter, are we? By the way, I didn't do like a new manager bounce on the morale or anything. McManus is in. Go on then, McManus. He goes through. Doesn't quite get there. Davidson. Oh, and he scores it. It's 1-0 to Wimbledon. Here we go. The new signings have combined a little bit to a point earlier in the build-up. But that'll do. 1-0 to Wimbledon. Yeah, Curry sent it into the new signing from well, not really new signing, is it anymore, McManus? McManus is a signing from the summer, but we scored this 1-0, and we'll take that. Warsaw, incidentally, are mid-table. Bang. There you are. 12th to the lead. Let's scroll to the bottom. And that result does not take us out of the bottom 2, right this second. It does keep us still in there. We are in the relegation zone by 1 goal on goal difference, incidentally. And just as we're here, let's go through the team. So Gary O'Neill and Jamie McDonough both get their start together, 2 brand new signings, and as does Jude Russell. All 3 signings he has played. Obviously, there has been no pressure from us whatsoever. He picks the team himself. I've not put anything on him, and McManus is there. So every player that we've signed so far, he's using in the starting 11, which is good. That shows the Moneyball system works, at least from the manager's perspective and the manager AI perspective. He recognises the quality where we do as well, for now. I'm sure at some point in the series, we're going to sign 1 or 2 really good young players, and the manager isn't going to play them. And that'll be a point in the series where I guess I have to seek guidance from you, the viewers, again. Oh, what a goal that is from McManus! That's 2! We're going to win it! We're going to win it! We're going to win a game. That's the incredible bit here. We're going to win a game, and it's come massively from McManus, our first ever Moneyball signing. He's just causing absolute problems on this left-hand side. Get off me, centre-back. Have one of those. What a finish, and that is going to be 2. I'm a bit concerned at the lack of subs that we make, but as long as we don't make them and the AI for the other team don't make them, I don't care. But if they're constantly making changes, freshening up the team, and we never are, then I need to look at that potentially. But we'll see how it goes for now. McAteer just says, get off me, lads. I'm going. Tries to put it to Gary and doesn't quite get there. We're going to get the bits and pieces, are we, from this? We will now. Curry, go into the right-hand side. Shoots from distance. Oh, what a goal! JSCV with the unbelievable strike, making it 3. This is unbelievable. Those two new signings, 3 actually, if you include Jude Russell as a centre-back. It's crazy, right? Jude Russell, at centre-back, was playing for Newport. Newport only 3 places ahead of us when I signed him. He was a starter for them, deemed not good enough, and we've gone completely off of the Moneyball stats, brought him in. You know, it might concern you bringing a centre-back in from a team that weren't really that far much ahead of you, but we've done it. He's come in, and we're looking really good. Like, these signings are incredible. I mean, I know the other 2 have done really well. I'm not playing down their rot, but they looked really good coming from the higher Irish leagues. Jude Russell came from this division, playing for a team that was struggling just as much as us, as the starting centre-back. He'd been dropped as well. Comes to us on loan, new lease of life. And, yeah, wow. I mean, this has got to be a win, right? Surely we can't throw this away. It's going to be their highlight. This might be 3-1. It's going to be 3-1, but... Well, there it is. It's 3-1. Can we hold out? So we are currently out the relegation zone by 2 goals and goal difference. They're going to build an attack now. They send it absolutely nowhere. Jude Russell says, don't worry, lads, I got this. I can play in League 2, as can the rest of the boys. Al Hamadi's even scored his first goal of the season. What is going on? That is 4-1. Unbelievable stuff. The match ratings all over the shop looking good as well. I'll tell you what, we'll take that 4-1 victory against Warsaw. Yeah, that takes us out of the relegation zone by a massive, monumental 3 goals and goal difference is what that takes us out by. We're currently 1 goal ahead of Newport, 3 ahead of Hartlepool, and we are 3 behind Mansfield on goal difference. And in terms of points, we are only 2 behind Rochdale. Looking at the points, though, like, realistically, Tranmere downwards are all involved in this. They're only 4 points ahead of the drop. They've got game in hand. But, realistically, I would say Tranmere. You could say maybe even one above in Barrow. Barrow got 31. That's 2 points more. And they've got 2 games in hand on most teams. So I'm not going to count them for now. Let's count everybody else down as a potential to go down. So really good match day for us and good transfer window so far. I don't know if we're going to keep watching matches throughout this transfer window. What I'm going to do now is skip through a couple and I'll keep negotiating with players and see what else we can do in terms of players in and out. But I'll keep you with me. If anything happens, you'll see it with me. Okay, so Lee Brown and Chris Gunter both gone on free transfers to respective teams to get them off the wage. Well, that puts us up to nearly 10 grand a week in wages again. That's really good stuff from us. I've not really gone back in for anybody just yet. I'm going to review the fullbacks right now. So in terms of right back, I think Josh was really a winger, wasn't he? So it's really between Barry Cotter and Kane Ramsey, the 2 that we're going to look at. I think Barry Cotter is the one that I like the most, so I'm going to try and bring him in. So Barry Cotter's not interested in speaking to us. So then that leaves us a case of, do we want to rely on Casey on his own? Absolutely not. So Kane Ramsey will be the one. Because what that does is Kane Ramsey is then going to be a good, solid, at least backup fullback going into the second season when we lose McAteer, because obviously he'll go back to his parent club. So I think that's a good transfer. Gives us competition this year, but also, and strength in depth, but also gives us a player next year to be at least a backup, if not the starter. So goalkeepers are a little more difficult to search for within FM because there's a lot less stats to use. So I tend to only use a couple and then use FM Stag Stats here to look at goalkeepers. Yeah, I'm not too interested in bringing in a replacement for our current starting goalkeeper because I think he's actually doing okay. But Andy Firth here, who's playing in the Welsh League, has got pretty good stats for a goalkeeper. It seems like FM Stag Stats suggests that he's doing pretty well actually all across the board. So I'm going to try and bring him in really as a backup goalkeeper. He's on a free at the end of the season anyway, so we'll try and get him for like £1,000. There you go. And we'll try and get another backup goalkeeper. Also one that, if he has to come in and play, he's not going to be an absolute disgrace. He's going to be able to at least be pretty solid. If we lose him, like basically we just signed him for, what was it? £1,000. So you can have that. We'll give him relegation release scores of nothing. If we don't go up, we can sell him for 5. We'll give him that. Not quite happy with that. Let's go to 700. I mean, 700 still feels like a lot. Minimum fee, if anybody comes in with 20, how about that? Okay, he's taken that. So, I mean, to be fair, we're getting him for £1,000. If we lose him, I don't really care. It's just somebody to be a solid, dependable backup. He fits the stats that we need. Nick Tanzev, actually, has got pretty good stats for a goalkeeper. He came up, I think, 4th on my list when I looked. I sorted it by save ratio. So, there you are. Just thought I'd quickly show you we can look for a goalkeeper, bring somebody in. Kevin Keane's a little bit, friendly with the press. Ramsey can be AFC Wimbledon legend. Now, I don't think Kevin Keane should be putting that kind of pressure on Kane Ramsey to become a Wimbledon legend, but that is what he said. I have every confidence that he can write his name into AFC Wimbledon legend. Yeah, I mean, right, okay. Let's just hit the brakes on that for a second here. He's a fullback in League 2, but okay. This is a good example of, I think, when you're getting a player, it's not just about getting a player that has the stats regardless. Like, we've got the budget to give Jack Keeney £2.5 grand a week. Now, there's a good chance that either he doesn't even play in central field, and if he does, he's a marginal gain on the other players we've got. So to bring him in for 140 grand and £2.5 grand a week just isn't a good cost-effective deal. His wages are outweighing the stats he's going to give to us, at least from our scouting and analysis. So this is where you take a step backwards and go, we're not going to do this one. What we'll do for this season, we'll keep the players we've got. We've got Woodyard, we've got Gary Neal and Harry Powell's a 3, and Amari Little's there on loan as the emergency because George Marsh is injured. At the end of the season, Amari Little goes... at the end of the season, Little goes back to his parent club. We save £1 grand a week in wages off of him, and then it gives us Marsh back, and we've got back to 4 centre mids. And likely what we'll do is sell Harry Powell and bring in one more starter. It's likely what we do right this second, but we might go down yet, so who knows. But that's the current plan anyway. I've got Alfie there as well, so we won't bring in a central midfield player. And a few of these players that, because I did the scouting a little bit differently for this transfer window, we haven't gone for the 3 teams in the playoffs, etc. We've gone one of our own players and then somebody in the playoffs with the same formation as us in the same league. Because we've done it that way, the players are really specific to that. So the players that we've sort of scouted in this window, I'll probably remove from my shortlist. I've already removed a couple because they were specific to this, and we'll re-scout in the summer. Some of them I'll keep, but like I think Josh, for example, was really specific to this one. So was something I just removed. So was Latifa. I'm pretty good with the wingers now. I feel like we've got we've got one coming back from injury, and Ethan Tislett as well. So we've got 4 players there that I think could all do a decent job on the wing. Having that one extra starter is good, I think, to sort us out. So I think that's likely what we'll do. It's unlikely we'll get another winger, so we'll see how it all goes from there. In terms of players that are still going to come in, the goalkeeper will come in, probably the left back. I want to get him in because he scored really highly in his stats. He really impressed me with the stats that he had. So I'm going to try and get Kazim in. He looks really, really good. And then outside of that, I mean, I think that's going to be it for this transfer window, which is successful, I think. Hopefully we have enough to... There's part of me that thinks we should still get 1 or 2 more, just because we were so close to the relegation zone, but we can't let the pressure of that affect our Moneyball strategy. We need to be cold and scientific with this. Firth comes in, the left back comes in, the rest of the squad should be good enough. Rory Patton is the only other player I could consider, but no, I'm going to go with Firth, we're going to go with Kazim, and if we can't get Kazim, we'll get Bobby Burns, because he's the other left back we looked at, but really it's going to be Kazim. So some of these other players will come off the shortlist as well. These 2 will come off now. I think some of these other lads will do as well that were there at the start for the striker position. So we'll reset all of that going into the January, the summer, sorry. So I'm going to try and get these 2 done, and you'll join me back at the end of January, and we'll see how the team's been doing off camera, and if we manage to get these 2 players in, which we should have done, but we'll see. First of all, the bad news was both left backs that I tried to sign didn't want to come to us. So I thought, shit, we're in a bit of trouble here. Then, however, I looked again at the stats, went through, and the player that we based our search on, the stats from the team in the playoffs playing 4-4-2, was available to be loaned. I was like, well, why would we not do this? So Mish FSA is going to come in on loan for the season. He's only going to cost us 1.3 grand a month in loan fees. So I think that's the best Moneyball centre we can make. It means that in terms of fullbacks, we've got really 3 right backs, 1 left back, but at least we've got strength and depth across the board. My one concern was if Curry was to get into long term, we'd have a right-footed left back the entire time, but there wasn't anybody else anywhere near as good as this, and we'll just have to accept that that's what's going to happen. But at least we've got 4 players now that are all going to be pretty decent across the back. We've got good strength in depth. We've got 4 centre-backs, 4 full-backs. The squad's good. That's going to be our last signing of the window. We managed to get Andy Firth in as well. So, because that's going to be our last transfer, and there's not going to be any more, I think let's finish off with this match here. Newport County, who are currently just ahead of us in the relegation zone. We've gone back in after our defeat we've gone back into the relegation zone from a defeat in the last game. So let's have a look at this game. Let's let the boys get on with our new signing, and we'll round off the episode with this game. So to round off the transfer, then we managed to finish off with a total spend of 525 grand for the season and 975 grand in transfers out for the season, which is really, really good. Finances are going to be 1.3 million currently in the bank, with a projection of only 60 grand in the positive, but that'll go up when the end of season money comes in, and a projected transfer budget of 437. Transfer debt is currently minus 299 grand, which is good. That means obviously got more money coming. That means obviously we've got more money coming in than going out in terms of like monthly installments, that kind of stuff, right? And we're looking very, very good. So let's get into the game then against Newport County. The only player really missing that was in the last team, Jude Russell, can't play against his parent club. Apart from that, everybody else is available that was available for the last game that we saw, plus the new signings as well. Here we go there. Newport County, huge relegation battling game. We need to win this. Here we go. So they're going to play a 3-4-2-1 formation on Newport's. Okay, so before the game flashed up, we were going to play a 4-2-3-1. I think that's just because of our preset formation. We're actually playing a 4-4-2, as you can see here. So I was concerned for a second there what was happening, but we are playing a 4-4-2. I'm sure we'll see it now in a second here, because that's what happened before, right? So here we go. Jimmy McDonough, right-hand side, goes wide with the ball, looks back into the box, doesn't quite get to McManus. I feel like if we could win this game, I think we'll stay up, because it will show that if the 4 games that he's had in charge, we would have won 2 of them, and both against teams that were beatable. Well, even the first game was a bit of a surprise, the game that we won, but it was at home, right? But we need to try and win these away games we can against the sides in and around us. Curry goes wide. McManus tries to play a ball into absolutely nobody, and they're going to play out from the back. And it looks pretty dangerous right this second. They play it across. This could be a goal. It's whipped across. It's hit the post, and it's been cleared. Corner for Wimbledon. Since the new manager's come in, we've been good at these. Seem to create a lot of chances from corners. McDonough goes wide, whips it in towards the far post. Gary O'Neill, the 2 signings, going to combine. Is he going to score it? And he does! The 2 signings combine. There you go. The Moneyball players have done it. The right winger to the midfielder. And it's 1-0 to AFC Wimbledon. What a start from the lads. Look at this. Gets it, clips it in the air, takes a touch, sends it straight into the far side. I thought you actually missed the opportunity to score. Lovely little shift before he scores. That is 1-0. We are currently just outside the relegation zone there. We are currently 2 points clear if we win this game. That's how it currently stands. If we can win this game, we will go 2 points clear of the relegation zone. Gary O'Neill plays into McAteer. Far post, Woodyard. He's got to score. He's got to score. He's at the bar at the rook twice. Corner, O'Neill. Far post. Pierre goes up, headed away. McDonough, the other way around this time. Is he going to clip it back in? He looks really dangerous by this guy. He looks really dangerous. Headed towards goal. There it is. Declan McManus scores the header. That's going to be 2. That is surely going to be game over. We cannot throw that away, surely. It is only 35 minutes in, but that is against a team that are in such low confidence and form, the same as us. I expect the team to see out this game. What a start, boys. The new signings have made a huge difference in combination of it being a 2-man strike force in this division. All those changes have been definitely for the better, I think, at least so far. Interestingly, he's changed Gary O'Neill from a ball-winning midfield player to a deep-line playmaker, which is quite the difference in Sheffield. We're looking for an all-action midfield player, right? So there you go. That shows it. He's able to play him as a ball-winning midfielder in one half and then deep-line playmaker the next. So it's quite funny, that. Goalkeeper gets it. I'm not happy with this. Like, no intention to play out whatsoever. I'm not happy with that. Manager, that's going to be a markdown for you long term if that keeps happening. McAteer gets this, plays it to Pierre, sends it into orbit. We're a little direct, aren't we, football-wise? But that's something we can look at next season. Maybe next season we start off okay. We don't quite get into the playoffs. We decide that we need a new manager because they aren't really adhering to the philosophy. I don't mind us playing like 4-4-2. It's not the shape right. Formation is formation. Somebody's 4-4-2 is somebody else's 4-2-3-1, depending on how the number 10 operates, that kind of stuff, right? It's not the formation that's the issue, it's the style that it's played in. The fact we've had 40% possession isn't great. It's 5 of the club is the most important thing, really, though, so for right now. But yeah, I was hoping that in a 4-4-2, like if the manager had play out of defence ticked, we'd keep the ball a lot more, because in those kind of goal kicks and scenarios there, he'd just roll it out or play it short, to depending on whether it's a goal kick from the floor, that's going to be 3. Or whether it's like in the goalkeeper's hands. So it's a shame that it doesn't quite have that. So maybe what we've learned here is from a manager perspective, if they have a 4-4-2 formation, that even gegenpress isn't the right way. It has to be really 4-4-2 control possession or 4-4-2, one of the 2 tiki-taka options. And if it's not any of those, if it's a 4-4-2 and it's not control possession and it's not either 2 tiki-takas, we can't take that manager on because they're going to be playing it too direct. It's also in lower league football, so the players are less composed. They're going to play more direct than they would if they were at higher levels. But I think what we've learned already is that if we do this again in the future, go with a manager playing a 2, we need that. Maybe we do that next. Maybe the next manager we get, we stay 4-4-2, we try and get that little tweak and see if it's any better as we make it 4. But for now, let's enjoy the season. 3-0 winners here, potentially. Moving on to the next one. Got ourselves a bit of a, I wouldn't say a cushion because it's still pretty close. So that is going to do and conclude your episode. That was a very, very entertaining episode. Lots of Moneyball scouting, lots of player analysis, recruitment and that kind of stuff. New manager, of course, which is good. And we finally got ourselves out of the bloody relegation zone. And we're looking like we've got a platform to build on, don't we? We've got a platform to build on. I don't know if it's going to be sustainable long term, but we'll see how it all goes. We'll see how it all goes together. Next episode, then, I don't know whether we should come back. Okay, what I'm thinking is, let's come back for the Crawley game. Let's see how things have gone off camera. And we'll do like an end of season, obviously, review and everything in the next episode. But we don't have to watch every single game when we're doing it this way. We can almost come back for the Crawley game, skip a couple, come back for Harrogate, maybe skip a couple, come back for Crewe, that sort of thing, right? But the next episode will be the conclusion to the season, but we'll probably start off with the Crawley game, so you get like so it's not like you see now, and then all of a sudden you see the Tranmere game and we're like, 10 points clear of safety. We'll try and keep it sort of like with the tension of what's been going on. So we'll come back for the Crawley game, we'll do the whole rest of the season for an end of season review, conclude the season, and see how the relegation fight all concluded. So that's what we'll do next time. Wow, what an episode. Thank you so much for watching and for being part of the series. All of you that have reached out in the comment section, on Twitter, etc. I really appreciate all the support on this series. My plan, as I mentioned on Twitter and in my Discord, is to get these episodes out to really 3 times a week, but if not 3, definitely 2. This past week was just really busy for me for a number of reasons, but that is the aim. So today there's an episode which is Thursday. There'll probably be one on Saturday or Sunday. Likely to be Sunday, actually, probably be Sunday. The next one will come out. And then again, you're looking at a Tuesday or Wednesday episode there. And we'll see how it goes anyway. But yeah, it'll try and be three a week. And we'll see how far we can get Wimbledon. Try and get them to being Premier League and Champions League winners. That is the plan, of course. But that's going to do it for now. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate all of your support. And with that being said, I'll see you all, of course, next time.